Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi everyone, welcome to GFX Farhan. Friends, I have recently launched a Houdini course related to Pyro and I am going to share its compositing with you guys. Friends, if you are interested in the course, then the course link available in the description of the video below, you can check it. Let's get started the video. Friends, compositing fire and smoke on our building, I have used Nuke software. So this tutorial we are not going to build from scratch, but I will show you its walkthrough, but I will explain it to you guys in such a way that you will understand it from A to Z. So let's start it. First, when you open your Nuke software, fresh software, you will see this. Select it and press S, and first of all change some setting in our color tab. Change this to OCIO and change this to ACES 1.2 and also change it to ACES. Now our Nuke color space are converted to ACES color space. Now let's close it, and this is my script. Okay, now here is my render in EXR version. Drag it and drop it here. Here it goes. Okay, here. So this is our smoke, and drag our sequence also and press 1. Now look, its color are weird. Double click on it and change its color space to utility out sRGB and check. Now double click on it, and now its input transform in default scene linear. Change this to color space ACES CG. Now this input is on. Now this input is in ACES CG and this input is in sRGB. Okay, let me delete it. This is my background by pressing 1. So first of all, it is in 4K, but my renders are in 1080p, and my viewport, press S. In root, my viewport is in 1920 by 1080. So convert this into 1920. I add a reformat node, and when I press here 1, my background are now in 1920 by 1080. Now understand it. We need our renders like our background fire here, mid tower fire here, and foreground tower fire here. And as you know that we already track our camera for our simulation, so here there is no problem to adding our smoke here. But if I adding some burn marks here and here or here, and some like dusty environment or smoky environment on top of all, we need some camera tracking. Again, for this purpose, I add a sharp node to sharpen it. Sharpen node actually help us to track our shot well. Then I add a 3D camera tracking node here, and in the setting what number I used, 150. Okay, I use 150, but you can use 250, 200 or 300 as you want, and click on track camera. Okay friends, the tracking process is completed. Now it's time to solve our tracking. Click on solve. 0.93, our error rate is 0.93, which is below than 1, which is good value. We can try to decrease it more. Jump into auto tracks and first click on delete unsolved and delete rejected. Now again update solve, switch to global 0.92. Let me try to change some setting. I think we need to change this to 10. Let's try. Change this to 2.5 and this to 5. Now again click on delete unsolved and delete rejected, and value is 89. It's good value. Again update solve and let's see. 0.89 is very good value. Now if you are using NUKE 15, then here your new 3D beta will be checked. Please uncheck it and then click on Scene Plus and create. So our camera is created, our scene is created, and our scan line render is created. And this technique I use for this. Okay, so drag it to the side and we will keep with my already tracking data. Now uncheck it, I mean disable it. Now our tracking is done. Now we can easily attach our burn marks on these buildings. So let's try it. Then I copy all these settings and paste here. Let me disable all these first. These are our tracking marks. And one thing more, you can also check it by check it that your point is, for example, right click on this and create a card. Card is created and now link it to the scene. Then in card change this to, I think, wireframe. No, wireframe. Yes, change this to wireframe and decrease the size. And make sure disable the plumb point cloud because it's slow the system. Now you can check it. The tracking is very good. Okay, back to our where we live. Now we need to add our burn marks on the back on the top of this building. I use some burn marks. This is from Action Essential 2. You can easily download these textures from internet. Okay, now check the texture. If I press A, this have no alpha, and we need to attach only the black part, not the white part. So we need to fix it first. So here I use a first disable this and this to understand you better. Here I use a keyer node which is here. Okay, this one. If I switch to keyer node, what it will do, it will create an alpha for us. Now I am pressing A, it give me alpha. And then as I created a card here, I use same technique here. By connecting this to this, double click on camera and change your view to camera. Now the tracking points are showing. Here I just right click on it and create a card, something like this. Then let me delete it. Then I move this card to here and connect it here. If I disable them first, this one and this one, then I attach this node to card, I means my keyer to card, and attach my card to the scene. And then I add a merge node, and my B pipe is going to our background plate and A pipe is going to our scan line render, because our B pipe is used for our background. If I change my view to here, it look like this. The white part are still remaining. If now here we need to add a pre-mult node. If I add a pre-mult node, it remove the white cube, but if I switch to the pre-mult, some artifacts are still remaining. So then I add a grade node. Let me on it by pressing D. Double click on it, switch to here to see the better result. Here I add a grade node. If I again enable and disable it, you can feel it, some changes. So here is my setting in grade node. I decrease, I down my gain to 0.78, just little bit. But our problem are still remaining. We need to fix it better. Then I add a multiply node. Let me disable it. Now see, our artifacts are gone. If I switch to pre-mult node, to this one to see better, and enable and disable the multiply, you can see the result. In the multiply, what I do, let me explain it. Add a multiply node and make sure add a multiply of math. Check it. Here it is called math. Add this one, not the merge one. Move this aside and connect this to grade. Okay, and now see our artifact are come back. Double click on it. First we need to change our mask to the RGBA and change our mask to RGBA.alpha. Okay, now if I decrease my value, what it will do, it will removing our dark part, not the whiter part. We need to invert it. By inverting it, decreasing, and now if we decreasing, it will clean our patch, dark patch. I means it remove the white artifacts. So decrease the value, its value to 0, and make sure your mask is selected RGBA.alpha and invert is also checked. Okay, let me delete it and connect this one. Now as you know, this patch is a little bit aside from our building. Here I use a roto, but make sure to using a roto, you need to add first a merge node. First add a merge node, this is necessary. Add a merge node and then add a roto node. In the merge node, connect your B pipe to pre-mult and A pipe to roto, and make sure you change your operation to mask. This is necessary. Then add your roto. Add your roto, then it will work fine on this card and give you accurate result. Similarly, I added all these settings in this way by just copying all these settings, paste here and add different burn marks. Let me enable them all. I add a burn mark here and here. I not add here because this is already dark, but you can add as your own. Now switch to view here. Now our tracking is done and our black patches, burn marks are added. Now it's time to add our fire and smoke. First of all, I import my background building smoke. One thing more, I render this in 3 passes. One pass is beauty pass and 2 other passes are, one is fire only and other is smoke only. And then I add a shuffle channel. Okay, shuffle channel I add here, and let's switch it and change this to combine emission. When you select combine emission in Houdini AOVs, the fire will it will give you only fire AOVs, and when you add a combine volume in Houdini AOVs, it will also give you a smoke separately. This is fire and this is smoke. The benefit of AOV is that you have full control on your fire and on smoke separately. You can add glow, light, color, everything separately to your fire without changing your smoke color or lightness. Now let me first disable them and let me disable this. Now our fire is separate and smoke is separate, and we need to merge them to give us this type result. Here I add a merge node and change my operation to plus. By press 1, it will give me a same result as my original one. But here is a problem. The alpha is gone. There is no alpha. But in original plate we have our alpha. So I use a copy node. I use a copy node and copy this alpha on this smoke. I connect my B pipe of alpha node to the smoke shuffle, to this shuffle, I mean smoke one, and connect my A pipe to my original plate. Now if I change my view to this, no, but to this, now it have alpha, because alpha is copying from original on this line. And this is some extra part because I forgot to increase the bounding box of my pyro simulation, due to which my smoke has been cut from here. So here what I do, I add a transform node here and move my smoke. This is my smoke only. Move my smoke to this side. Then I add a crop node to crop it, because the bounding box are created. I add a crop node to crop it. Then I add a roto node. Here I add a in node in, which is a merge operation. Here I add in node and change my operation to max, and connect my A pipe to this, B pipe to this one and A pipe to this one. And here I add a mask. I connect this mask to the roto, which give me this result. Then I add this one and this one by adding a merge. Now our fire is added, our smoke is added, corrected smoke is added here. Then I add a merge node again and connect this one. This is our background with patches, I mean burn marks, and this one is our fire and smoke only. Adding a merge here, it gave me this result. I means my fire and smoke is added on this building. I use same technique for this fire and smoke and this fire and smoke. Same technique as I use here. I add a grade node by decreasing little bit gain and change some setting in gamma. Then I add a correct node, color correct node, and in color correct node I change my gain setting by click on this one, click on this, and here I change my gain to little bit to the reddish, to look my fire in little bit red color, because in daylight fire looks red. If you click on this one, you can access to these channels separately, I means RGB separately. Now in the same technique I add a merge here and merge them. Our second smoke, fire and smoke is added. Then I add a merge node and connect here, and our third smoke and fire also added. Now because there are huge smoke plumes are in this area, so some little bit dirty effect will be in the environment of this area. So for this purpose I use a footage create smoky atmosphere. But if I double click on it, its original range is from frame 1 to 300, but my frame range of timeline started from 134, so which is not match with this. Then I add a time offset node and change my time offset frames to 134. Now its frame 1 is moved to our 134. Now it's moved to 34. Then I add a shuffle node because it is not connected. Now it is showing. Then after time offset I add shuffle node, because this don't have alpha, or it have, I think, let me check it, this don't have any alpha, and because it is in white color adding a shuffle node and connecting any channel, red, blue or green. I add a red channel to the alpha, it gives me a alpha. Then I add a card as we created here and connect to this scene. If I enable it and click here and connect this one to this is a background, it gives me this result. Then I add a grade node. In grade node I change some setting in gain and gamma, which give me this result. Let me enable and disable it. Okay, now it's time to merge our atmosphere, smoky atmosphere, with our plate. Here I add a merge and connect my B pipe here and A pipe to this scanline render. And one thing more, make sure please uncheck it first. It is necessary, because it is necessary to achieve this type of look. See, if this distortion is connected to the background, it will give you this type of effect, because your background are again added on top of these. Okay, so make sure uncheck it. So guys, our effect is ready. Then I add a write node for exporting this to disk. In the write node I add a path where I want to render it. Then I change my codec to H.264, frame rate, my FPS is 24, codec profile I change it to high, quality to best, and make sure change your output transform to in color space output and sRGB, this is necessary to export this in a normal sRGB color. Then click on render, select your frame range, global is best, and click OK. It will render this file on your disk. I hope you guys understand it well. I tried my best to explain each step to you guys, but still you guys don't understand any step somewhere, then you can comment me or message me on my social platform. It will be pleasure to help you. Please thumb up if you like the video, share with your friend, and the next part of this, the ground fire, I composited in After Effects, so the next tutorial will be in After Effects. See you in another video. Goodbye.